What changes are needed at this point?
We sent 21 recommendations to the president. We, meaning the NSA whistleblowers, Tom Drake, Kirk Wiebe, Ed Loomis, and I, and Diane Rourke. We put together 21 suggested changes to fix NSA and the intelligence community. So the two main points were pretty simple. You need to have a focused, one of them was to have a focused attack of selection of information out of the worldwide flow of data. And that meant you had to define zones of suspicion of people and groups of people or related people who are in a zone of suspicion. That meant you would focus in on what data you would take. The rest of it you'd simply let go by. That meant that that process would give privacy to everybody by simply not taking the data in. And the other one, the other main suggestion was to have a verification process for Congress and the courts. See, because right now the intelligence committees and the FISA court have absolutely no way of verifying what NSA is telling them is true. I mean, you could even see it with some of the testimony in open sessions in Congress when they come down there to testify. Nobody can challenge them on what they're saying. All they can do is ask questions, listen to what they say, and that's it. They cannot verify what they're saying is true. So our suggestion was to have a group of technical people with all the clearances necessary and all of the authorization to go in any intelligence agency, anywhere, sit at any desk, look at any database or any process that was running or that they had to run or any information they had stored anywhere in the world and verify that what they were telling the courts and Congress and the public was really true. And we had suggested that we hire hackers from the outside to do that because we thought they would be the right kind of temperament to make sure they would try to find something if they were doing something wrong.
This brings up another thing as far as the personal encryption. Do you know anything about Bitcoin and the attempts to...
I don't know very much at all about that, no.
Uh-huh.
No, I haven't been involved with that, so.
Because there have been lots of allegations that original Bitcoin encryption code had a backdoor built into it because the original guy worked for Hughes and then gave it up. And
well, I mean, you know, that gets into into the industrial complex that's associated with the intelligence community. So, who knows? I don't, you know.
Okay.
Again, that's why you would need a technical group to verify it, one way or the other.
Okay. Well, that was your first recommendation. I interrupted you. What was the second?
Well, the
one?
second one was to have the first one to do a focused attack on selection of data, and the next one was to do a verification process, and ensure you had a way to verify that what they were telling you was true. So those are the two main things, but we had other things like if they use words, they need to define their terms so that there's no confusion. Like when Alexander would go before Congress and talk about we don't collect data on U.S. citizens, he meant by collection, I guess he meant that data is not collected to him until an analyst at NSA looks at it. So it can be in the base and stored there for as long a period as you want. As long as nobody looks at it, they consider it not collected. Well, also the other term of incidental collection. Well, if you're looking at a STEM 64, a 10 gigabit pipe, and there's one terrorist in there somewhere, and you find them, and you say, okay, I need to take the whole pipe because there's a terrorist there, and that might be, all this other stuff might be related. So they, in essence, then can take in the entire communications of the world. That's why people in the DOJ were ready to resign, because they realized that that's not constitutional.
But that's what they're doing that right now. They're
Yep.
taking in all the communications.
But they're saying they're not.
Of everyone in the United States.
Yeah, but that's because they're lying to us. They're saying they're not.
The reason I keep repeating that is it's still very difficult for me, even with my background, to fathom that that is actually the case. That's the worst case scenario.
Yes, it is, and to us it was a trivial matter. I mean, because it was just racking and stacking. The only question was power and space. So I mean, the magnitude of it wasn't a challenge at all.
And this was 13 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, 15.
Can NSA effectively be controlled?
Not unless they have some effective way of oversight and some way of verifying what they're doing. And right now, the intelligence committees have become advocates of the agencies. They're not. I mean, they were chartered, as was the FISA court, from the Church Committee investigations in the 70s. And their charter was to ensure, to monitor and have oversight of the intelligence community and all the agencies to ensure that they didn't spy on U.S. citizens. Well, now they're advocates for that. Now they're in bed with the agencies, supporting them and trying to get them as much money as they possibly can so that they can spy on as many people as they possibly can. Well, I mean, that's not what their charter's all about. That's not what they were supposed to do. I watched the Frontline case, May 13th, 2-hour episode where Portergoss came on and said that Hayden came down and gave him such a terrific briefing on the program that he just defined it so well for novices, or whatever he called himself at the time, and that you wanted to believe him and not question him. Well, he forgot what his job was. His job was to question these agencies, to find out what they're really doing, and is it really lawful, and is it really constitutional? He didn't ask any of those questions. He just bought into it, hook, line, and sinker.
At what point would you say that the statement that only metadata was being captured, at what point in time was that false?